Welcome, everyone. We're just going to give it a few more minutes to get everybody logged in, but welcome to our webinar this evening, and we hope you'll enjoy the information we're going to get you about the Family Childcare Training Program. So get yourselves your glass of water, your cup of tea, and we'll start in about 2 minutes.
More people are still filing in.
Hi, everyone. I can still see that people are logging on, so I'll give it another minute and then we will go ahead and start.
You can go ahead and trying the chat feature and introduce yourself if you'd like. We still have people filing in. I think they're coming in single file tonight, Robin.
That's a safe way to travel in, single file. Safety first. Okay, well, I think that's great. Seems to have leveled off a bit. So welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight for this webinar. And again, this is just an informational webinar, so there won't be certificates offered at the end, as it's just us providing you with some information about a new and exciting initiative that we have at the Canadian Childcare Federation. So I will introduce myself, and I'm also joined here this evening by my colleague, but I'll have her introduce herself in a moment, Suzanne. So my name is Robin McMillan, and I'm the Innovator of Projects, Programs, and Partnerships at the Canadian Childcare Federation. And I'm so glad you could join us tonight for us to talk to you about our latest initiative, our Family Childcare Training Program that we've now turned into an online course, an online training course. So this webinar this evening is going to be informing you about the course, about how we created it, where the history of it, and all that kind of thing. So it's backstory and all of that. So hopefully by the end of it, you'll know everything there is to know about the course, and you'll be very excited to try it out with us. So I will go ahead now and go to the next slide. Wait a minute, if I might turn buttons. Oops. There we go. Over to you, Suzanne.
Hi, I'm Suzanne Schelechty, and I'm really happy to be here tonight talking with you about the Family Childcare Training Project. And I'm going to start with the land acknowledgement. And if you would like, while I'm doing our land acknowledgement, if you would like to share your own in the chat, please go ahead and do so. We respectfully acknowledge that the land on which the CCCF is located is the traditional unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe people. We recognize all Indigenous people who were here before us, those who live with us now, and the 7 generations to come. As Indigenous people have done since time immemorial, We strive to be responsible stewards of the land and to respect the cultures, ceremonies, and traditions of all who call it home. As we open our hearts and minds to the past, we commit ourselves to working in a spirit of truth and reconciliation to make a better future for all. Today, these lands continue to be shared territory and are occupied by many diverse peoples from near and far. A treaty is an inheritance, a responsibility, and a relationship. We acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past and dedicate ourselves to move forward in partnership with Indigenous communities in a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration.
Thank you, Suzanne. I will move the slide. There we go.
Yeah, and we're going to take a moment to find out more about you tonight. And we've got a poll, and we want you to share a little bit more about you so that we know who we are talking to this evening. So what best describes you? And we want you to select one of the following. Are you someone that's interested in learning more about family childcare? Are you a new family childcare provider? Are you an experienced family childcare provider? Or are you someone perhaps that works with family childcare providers providing training? Or are you something that we haven't anticipated? Do you have a different role? And if that's the case, share it in the chat box, or if the chat box isn't working for you, I know sometimes people have problems with that, use the question.
Yeah, you can use the question area as well. For some reason, it doesn't seem to be. Whichever's easier for you. So can you see the responses, Suzanne? It's very interesting.
I can see the responses, Robin, and I see it looks like we've got 41 or 42% that are interested in learning more about family childcare. We've got 11% saying they're new family childcare provider, in which case, welcome. We need more family childcare providers. We've got 23% saying they are experienced family childcare providers, and it's really exciting to see those people here tonight too. And another 22% that are working with family childcare providers, and 4% are our unanticipated. We didn't think of the category that they're in. So I'm hoping that they're going to be sharing what their roles are, perhaps.
I'm gonna say, okay, so I'm gonna close off that poll and go back to our presentation screen. There we go. And then we had another question. And again, if the chat box isn't working for you, don't worry about it. Don't waste your time there. Just go ahead and put it in the question area.
I'm going to open up my question area.
Post it.
And I think a lot of people have already anticipated.
Yeah.
And our question was, what province or what territory do you live in? And a lot of people are already answering that question.
Yep. There's Alberta, British Columbia, Ontario, Manitoba, Nova Scotia. It's nice because on these webinars, we're so excited to welcome people from coast to coast to coast.
Yeah, and we really are seeing all across. That's, oh, Prince Edward Island is here, Edmonton, Alberta, Ontario, Manitoba, Newfoundland. That's great.
That is great. Well, thanks for sharing that, everyone. It's nice just to get a little snapshot of where people are at and what part of the country they're joining us from this evening. That's wonderful. Thank you. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how the origin story or the backstory of the Family Childcare Training Project and really the history that the Canadian Childcare Federation has with the family childcare training. So we first began working with family childcare providers and developing a training years ago, way back in 1995. That was actually even before my time at the Federation, because I've been at the Federation since 1999. And this actually, family childcare training is one of the first projects I worked on at the Federation, which is kind of interesting. Bit of a full circle moment for me. And back in 1995 at a childcare conference, Lee Dunster, along with many other leaders in early learning and childcare, and specifically in family childcare, came in, got together and had a discussion about the fact that they needed to find some national level training program that everybody could take that would be consistent from coast to coast to coast, and then create resources for family childcare providers at that level. So they went out and they looked for funding and they applied to a bunch of different things, and they finally found some. And the first training modules were developed and launched in 2000. And that was um, a really large piece of work. Is how it was done. It was very community grassroots oriented, and they traveled from coast to coast to coast. They had small meetings in communities. They tried to find out right from trainers and providers themselves what they wanted to see in their training and what would help them to be able to provide higher quality childcare. So by 2003, the Family Childcare Training Manual, which is Canada's first and still only national family childcare training resource, was completed. And then a few years later, the Federation was able to test an online version, which was online briefly, but back in the day, it was almost before its time because it was way too costly to maintain at that point. So we had to let it go. But since 2003, we still have had a big success with the printed version, which I used to fondly refer to as the telephone book because it's very large, as some of you may know if you're familiar with it. And now we've taken that training resource, we've connected with communities, we've done a lot of development, revision, and drafting, and now we've come up with this version, which is the Family Childcare Training Online. So its origins are based in that fundamental document that we did in 2003, and what we've done is revised it and updated it and provided you with the latest information in family childcare training, but now it's all within an online course. So it is now in this new accessible 10 module online course. So I'm going to go over to here. So this next slide just talks about how we got the money to do this, because of course this wasn't an easy task, and it did take a long time and a lot of effort. It was a 3-year project that we had funded by the Government of Canada's Early Learning and Childcare Innovation Program. And what we did is we sent a proposal in, and our objectives were to support the creation of an additional flexible, accessible, affordable, high quality childcare spaces for children under 6 in family childcare settings. Another objective was to increase the recruitment and retention of family childcare providers, to improve the family childcare landscape through quality professional development opportunities, and to identify and support new and emerging family childcare leaders. So through those project objectives, we also had some project outputs, and that would be to revise this national family childcare training program that we did have, update it and put it online in an accessible format, which would be a lot easier for people to get to and to be able to use in their communities as opposed to the previous printed version that we had. And within the project, we did extensive evaluations with a third-party independent evaluator, which gave us some really great information through our piloting, and then up till now when we got our final training program developed. So that was very informative. We also developed a virtual community of practice, which some of you may be familiar with, and we use Facebook, a private Facebook group for that. And we can talk about that a little bit further down in our presentation. We've also been able to develop distribution lists of family childcare providers that are interested in professional development opportunities. And some other outcomes are things like enhanced quality of care and knowledge. Through this training program, we've strengthened recruitment and retention, and we have a better understanding of the needs and challenges of family childcare providers from across Canada. And now I'll turn it over to you, Suzanne.
Yeah, so like Robin said, the online course was created using a creative and thoughtful approach that involved an extensive review of the original resources and the development of new material. So the course is an online professional development opportunity for individuals who are considering starting a home childcare, as well as for those who are already providers. Upon completion of the online course, CCCF will provide a professional development certificate of completion. The 10 modules can be completed at your own pace. They're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can work at home in your pajamas if you want to. The modules will take approximately 1.5 hours to complete, and they're designed to be completed sequentially, module 1 through to module 10. And at the end of each module, there's a self-reflective activity, and Robin mentioned the online Facebook group, and that's where the self-reflective activities happen. And there's a brief quiz that's completed before moving on to the next module. And you can complete the quiz as many times as you wish. Once all 10 modules have been successfully completed, you'll get a certificate of completion.
All right. Let me go to the next slide for you. There we go. Oh,
so
I missed one.
Yeah, missed one. That's right.
Yes. Anyway, but what we were going to talk about next, and Suzanne, you can talk about this if you like. It's is the course right for me? I think that maybe it's the next. No, it's not.
It's one back.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem to be there anymore.
Well,
Anyway.
I can talk about it on this slide anyways. So if you're wondering if this course is right for you, it was designed that it can be used by individuals who are currently providing childcare, people who are just interested in becoming providers, or people who have had a lot of experience. It makes a good refresher course. It's an introduction for those that are new. For experienced providers, they'll find the opportunity to review and reinforce their knowledge and sharing experiences with others. So testimonials that we've been given from other people that have taken the pilot, and this is testimonials that came from the independent evaluators, and we don't have the names because it was all done anonymously. So we got back, this was very collaborative. There were representatives from across the country, which is so important. It's very valuable as a tool for family childcare. Another person said, it's just a fabulous program. I don't want it to go anywhere. It needs to keep going. And yet another person said, it is amazing. I'm so grateful. It's incredibly helpful. So many points really hit home. So, and those were the things that were said to the evaluators. And then other people reached out to us. Loretta said, the family childcare training course was one that I wished I'd started out. It covered many things that are important to running a successful home business. It's one that should be mandatory to take for all homes. And Heather said, the training was incredibly helpful for me as a licensed family home childcare provider. This course covered everything a family childcare provider needs to start and continue learning. We educate children every day, and I believe it is just as or even more important for providers to continue their learning as well and to stay up to date with all the new research coming out about programming, children's development, behavioral strategies, and so much more. It can be hard to keep up with it. This training was exactly what I needed. So we've had so much positive feedback, and I just think, you know, it's a great way to continue your learning.
For sure. Well, thank you very much for that. So what I'm going to do is go to this next slide. So alongside of that, who is the program, who could use the program, we want to talk about the individual participants, which Suzanne just referenced. Also, we want to open it up to tell people that this program could be used by networks of providers. So that could be a small informal group of providers that might get together and want to do the course together as a group, or it could be a large agency. In some provinces, there's agency models where an agency would run and manage a lot of different family childcares and be responsible for the professional development of many providers. So you can use this training program within that environment as well. And also there's some provinces that use that model that have home visitors and childcare coordinators, and they offer workshops and training opportunities. So this course can be used in that way as well. And what we're going to do, as of May 1st, which you'll see later in our presentation, we're going to be opening up the registration. But if you are someone that's talking to us from a larger agency or larger organization, or you're interested in enrolling a group of more than 10 individuals for the course, please contact me, and that would be the email address at the end. And what we can do is we can then have a conversation about how that would work best for your group and how we can help you facilitate that and manage that from our end as well. And there'd be a different group pricing and that type of thing. So if you're interested in that larger group format, please let us know. And the other thing I wanted to mention, which we will not be launching May 1st, but will be coming in another phase of the project is that, or another phase of the rollout, is that we actually have the course content put into a digital ebook. So that may be an approach that might be applicable for agencies and larger organizations to use the digital ebook for training opportunities. And as well as having it in English and French, we have it in Cantonese, Punjabi, Tagalog, and was there another language, Suzanne? Am I forgetting one? No, I think that's it. So we have it multi-languages anyway, so which is a wonderful opportunity for people who perhaps are doing family childcare training with people that have English as a second language. So this might help as well. So certainly I'm more than happy to have conversations with you about that if that's your particular circumstance. So you could just please let me know. And also we're opening up to offering this through if there's any kind of post-secondary program that might want to access some of this course content as well. And that's why we have that digital course book, because that might be useful for that kind of format. So as you can see, we're really eager to find different ways that the community can use this, and going back right to the roots of the original family childcare training program, which was very community-based. We want this program to meet the needs of all family childcare training opportunities across Canada. So whether that be an individual taking the course on their own, a small group, a larger group, a large organization. So any kind of format like that, we're happy to have conversations about it. So please just let us know, and we'll start that dialogue, and we'll find a way to have the course fit for you, because that's the whole idea of it, is that it's flexible enough to meet the needs of the family childcare training across the country. We'll go to the next slide. I think that's over to you, Suzanne. Oh, you've done that one. So you've got them in the wrong order.
Do you have the webinars?
Yes.
There we go. Okay,
there we go.
So
Sorry about
there
that.
was a question in the questions asking if this is the same course as last year. So if you were involved in the family child care training that was offered as a pilot last year, yes, this is the same course. But you're going to want to hear this, because we have added a collection of webinars that for people that have taken the course, they're going to have access to watch webinars. Now, up until now, in order for you to get a certificate with one of our webinars, you have had to attend the live session, and then you would be sent a certificate. But with the family child care training, we have a small collection of webinars. You can watch the webinar, and then there's a short quiz after. And when you complete the quiz successfully, you will get a certificate for attending that, well, for watching that recording and completing the quiz. So that's the exciting new part of the family child care if you have already taken the course.
So it's additional professional development hours that we're able to give you, 1 hour per webinar. So that's in addition to the 30 hours that you get from the course. So that's exciting, because I know sometimes people need to collect hours and they need to get a certain amount of hours. So we're hoping this can help along with that, because some provinces do require that. So let me, whoops, there we go. There we go. Suzanne, would you like to talk about the additional resources?
Sure, we can do that. So there are within the course a number of PDFs, and you can see the middle center one there. And there's something that you can download, and you can print that out if you want, or you can just store it online on your computer. It's something that if you wanted to share it with parents, or if you just wanted to refresh your own knowledge, it's additional information. And the Understanding Holistic Development, there's a number of videos on our YouTube channel, and each of the videos is kind of based on the UTLs, the PDF resources, and it's just, you know, similar information, just offered in another way. You know, some people prefer to watch and hear, while other people like to read. And I'm not sure what your other resource is there.
It's a video.
No, I see the video, but the very first one that you have.
Oh, it's the Intro to Home Child Care ebook.
Oh, yes, yes. And that ebook, I think it's still available on the website. And that one is it still free, Robin?
Yes, it is. It's still free and
Okay.
it's in multi
So
languages.
to begin with, if you are keen on starting the family childcare training course, you can download the ebook, which is kind of like a prequel. It's a prequel to the family childcare training course. And it's got some great information. I mean, I can't believe that it's actually free. So
Yes, that's actually,
download it and read it.
yes, we kind of refer to that as the home childcare 101. So it's like the bare minimum. I mean, it's not everything you need to know, but it covers a lot of bases and will lead you in really nicely to the family childcare training course. All right, let me go down to the, I'm trying to answer some of the questions as we go, but we will have an opportunity to answer some of them more detailed, because that's where we're getting to next, I believe. Yes. So
Yes,
now
that is.
exactly. So I'm going to start. I have been answering some of them. Now let me go to, okay, let me go to some of them from here. Because maybe I'll just verbally answer them. Might be easier and faster than trying to type. So someone's asking, okay, the fee structure. Yes, we didn't, I don't know why this slide, I think my slides got a bit messed up. Anyway, sorry about that, but there is a fee structure. Of course there is. We will be offering this course and it will be, correct me if I'm wrong, so $250 for non-members and $200 for members of the Canadian Childcare Federation. So that will be the cost of the course. And like I previously mentioned, if you are a larger group of more than 10 individuals taking it together, or if you're a larger organization, agency, that type of thing, we can negotiate a price that would accommodate a group rate. So individuals, it's $200 for members of the Federation and $250 for non-members of the Canadian Childcare Federation. And is the Facebook group mandatory for participation and completion of the course? Do you want to take that question, Suzanne?
I would strongly encourage you to join the Facebook group. It's a great community, and you can do your reflection piece on your own. I mean, you're absolutely free to do that. But when you complete your reflection piece, and then you get to compare what you've said and what your thoughts are, and see what other people are thinking about those same topics, it's a lot more interactive and it's a lot more supportive. And when you think about family childcare, it's something that can be a very isolating, and it can be a lonely profession. And there's not going to be a lot of people that can really understand where you're coming from on a lot of topics the way another person that is perhaps going through the same things. And it's that collective knowledge, and you can get into problem solving and just general support and understanding from other people who are in the same profession you are. So it's not mandatory, but I would strongly encourage it.
Thank you. Yes, I was saying, I answered a question similar to that earlier on, and I said much the same. I said it's just that opportunity to connect and have that connection with providers from across the country, and to learn things from them that you may not have thought about, or feel a camaraderie with some experiences that they're having because you've had similar ones. Now, someone's asking if there's a link where I can read more details. So the course is outlined with much of the information that we gave you. It's also outlined on our website. If you go on our website and go to home/family childcare in the topics area, or you can also go into an area called online courses under professional development, and you'll find some blurbs about the course there too. And so for the registration, that's going to be opening May 1st. What we will be doing, we will be sending out information through all our social media channels about how to register and those details. And we will also be sending out an e-blast to everyone, and we'll also be sending out a special e-blast to our members that would include the CCF member discount code. So those things will be coming out soon. But right now, it's May 1st that the actual course will be opened. And then they will be open. So that was the other thing. The course will be opened when you register. So if you register May 1st, and the course then you have access to, you can have access to that course for a year. And then after the year, The people that have been in there for a year, they will be taken out of the course and new people are being put in all along. So we can't have just an endless sort of loop of it. So we're telling people they'll have a year access to the course and the content on that in that platform. So register, yes, so that's how you can register. You'll see the links that we're going to be providing, and that will be a way you can register right off the front page of the course, and we'll be sending all those links to everybody within the next 2 weeks. So I'm an EC diploma student college. Yes, this course is not offered through a college or university. It's offered through the Canadian Child Care Federation, and we're a national not-for-profit charitable organization. So in order to sustain the course and sustain the platform that it's on, we need to charge for the course in order to be able to revise it, renew it, that type of thing.
So there's a question about if the training is equivalent to the 40-hour course for licensed family home childcare in Manitoba. And I don't know if we can speak about Manitoba yet. Like we're talking to all the provinces, but the best thing for you to do as an individual would be to contact those organizations yourself and say, hey, I want to take this course. Will this be accepted?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So we are in conversations, having dialogues with all the provincial regulatory bodies across Canada. But as you can imagine, it's very different in each province and territory. It's not the same in any two provinces or territories. So it's a bit complicated. But we have been talking throughout our project, and we'll continue to be talking to them. And what we're trying to do is have at least, if not the whole course, parts of the course, something like that, accepted as part of the regulatory or the required hours they may need in their province. So when we have information on that, we will be certainly providing that information to the people taking the course. But as Suzanne said, you're best off to mention it to reach out to that regulatory body yourself and ask them. And if you require more information about the course, we certainly can provide that for you. So we can do that as well. And Suzanne, do you want to take this question? So each module is approximately 1.5 hours, so 30 hours to do the whole course. So you want to mention why that we have that difference?
Difference?
Well, okay, so the hours, the certificate hours, and then how long it takes, like that kind of thing.
Okay, so each module, we were, I guess, estimating the amount of time, and we wanted to make sure that people had the time to do their reflection piece and to put the thought into it that, you know, you want to make the most out of it. You want to think about the questions. There are a variety of questions that you can choose from for each of them. So you're not stuck with doing a question that you don't have any interest or you don't think that that would be helpful to you. Answer the question, think about your answer, and how does that apply specifically to you? And then you're going to go over to the Facebook group, and we ask you not just to post your own answer, but we also have you to comment on your peers' answers. So if you see an answer that's like, oh, hey, I didn't think of it that way, go ahead and say that. We need to support each other, and that's what we want too, is we want you to feel supported, but we're also hoping that you're going to be supporting your colleagues as well. And so it can easily take the extra time when you put more effort into it, and we want to acknowledge that.
Yes, that's exactly what I was getting at. So I wanted people to recognize that you could certainly whip through the whole course and do all the quizzes and everything else, but in order for you to retain that knowledge and really bring it on to yourself, you need to sit with it for a bit, reflect on it, and participate in the virtual community of practice. And that's why we're allotting more hours than just the 1.5 per module. So we're allowing that to happen. And will you send an email with the details? Yes. So when the follow-up email that goes out after the webinar, which we won't receive that for probably another day. So end of day tomorrow, or like tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. I guess you receive it in time for Easter weekend. You'll get you'll get the link to this replay video, this replay webinar. So you'll get all these details, and in that email we'll also include some other additional details too, about where you can find more information about the course on our website, that type of thing. So someone's saying, I don't have Facebook, so I won't sign up. So if you don't have Facebook, that's all right. There's some people that don't, and we know that. There are other ways that you could participate in the course. Certainly you could do the whole course, and you could do your own reflective piece, and you can put it in a reflective journal and you can keep it yourself. You could do it with a small group of providers in your community, even just informally. If you know other people that are family childcare providers as well, you could do a small group together, or you could do it with a larger agency organization. So don't let the fact that you don't have Facebook mean that you can't take the course. That's not accurate. You could. We think the Facebook element, the private Facebook group, just brings on a whole other virtual community practice that a lot of people enjoy, and they quite like meeting each other. So it's just another opportunity to connect, but it's certainly, as much as we suggest it, if you can't do it, you can't do it, and that's okay too.
We should probably mention too that the people that have taken the course and joined the group, when they're finished the course, I don't see them leaving the group. So
Yeah,
that is the part that lives on. So you become a member, and typically you're probably going to stay a member, and you know, it's ongoing.
And how many members do we have there now? Do you recall?
I think we're at like 1,100 members now, Robin.
Yes, I think so too. So obviously a lot of people, I mean, the people that are in there right now are not doing the course per se, because we had a pilot, now the pilot's over and we haven't launched the course yet. So like Suzanne said, they haven't left, and they remain in the group, and it's quite active, and they enjoy. Suzanne puts amazing things on there, quizzes and polls and opportunities to have chats about different things, and they're fun, and people really enjoy the time to engage with each other. Someone's asking about PD hours can I use for modifying my license from family home center to earlier center? That's something you'd have to ask your regulatory body yourself, because like I said, it's very different in each province and territory, and even amongst communities within the same province, it's sometimes very different. So that's something I'd encourage you to reach out to your regulatory body yourself. So that was about the training equivalent. Yes. So how will this program support someone who wants to set up group family daycare? Well, I think the same elements when you set up a group family daycare would be much the same as when you set up a family home childcare. I mean, you're setting up a childcare practice within your home. So a lot of these elements would pertain to you as well. And when we went through the content, things like setting up your childcare home, health and wellness, taking care of business, these are all topics that would be relevant to you as well. Guiding behavior, diversity, inclusion, building and
Code of
maintaining
ethics.
relationships.
Yep.
Yes, ethics, yes, and professionalism. So all of those would pertain to opening a group family daycare as well. And for people who aren't aware of what that term means, that is specific to a separate province. And it would be if you have a family home childcare within your home, but you also have maybe another person with you, so you have more than one adult. So it'd be a staff within that family childcare situation within your home. But
I
that's
think in BC, Robin, we can also have group family, like it's a larger group family childcare, but you don't necessarily have another staff person, but you might have higher training.
ratios.
Yeah.
Oh, training. Okay.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
so allowing you to have an additional,
Right.
yeah.
So someone's asking Suzanne how to join the Facebook group.
Oh, well, we will send out to
Yeah.
all the people that have attended this webinar, we will send out a link, and we would love to have you join us. That's fantastic. That's something else. You don't have to take the course. You can join the group first and see how wonderful everybody is, and then you can join the group and take the course second.
Yes, and someone is asking, is this program covered for reimbursement under Alberta PD funding? If not, would that be something your organization could apply to have approved? Well, we actually are talking to Alberta right now. So that's one of the provincial governments we are talking to about this. And that's one of the reasons why we've added the webinars, and for people to take the webinars in addition to the course, so we can bump up some of those hours that is required in Alberta. So we are having conversations with Alberta. At this point, it's a process that we have to go through with them. So we're in conversation with them about that. And it wouldn't hurt to have people in Alberta contact their regulatory body in Alberta and say that they would like this accepted as that, and they would like to get reimbursement for this course. So it would help at both ends. So certainly if you want, feel free to write an email to that department and get your thoughts shared with them, because it would be helpful for us as well. Are there any rebates for students? I'm currently enrolled in a diploma program. No, but there is a discount if you're a Canadian Child Care Federation member, and certainly there's a much lower student rate to be a member of the Canadian Child Care Federation. So you might want to look into that. I'm a member of the MCCA. Does it make me? Yes, it does. If you're a member of the MCCA, you are a member of the Canadian Child Care Federation, and I have a slide about that too before we close off. So, but yes, you are a member. In the course, is it possible to print it off so when I'm done, I have a paper reference? It's always good to refresh. Yes, so that is one of the reasons why we did that digital ebook, and we are trying to figure out how we can do that within the course. So stay tuned for that. At this point, we don't have a printable page at the end of each module, but there may be an opportunity to get that digital e-course book when you're finished. So, and that would be able to be downloaded and printed. So stay tuned. We're just working on that detail, so that could be coming.
And
I'm
thank
not aware.
you for that question, because
We need to
we
know
were
if
thinking
that's
it,
wanted.
but there were probably other people thinking it too. So
For sure. And I mean, that's good information for us, because if that is something people really want, then that is something we can deliver. We just have to figure out how to do that in the best way. So certainly if people are interested in that, we want to hear about that. So I'm not aware of any Facebook group. I thought everything would be done here. Okay, so the Facebook group is in addition to the course. So we will give some more details about that, because it seems like people maybe are a little bit confused about that. So certainly in the follow-up email, we can add some more detail about that Facebook group, and as well, we can add the link. And the name of the Facebook group is, Suzanne, can you get it right for
Canadian
me?
Home Family Childcare Providers.
Yes.
And if you search, it should come up for you, even though it is a private group. Give me a little while to make approvals. If it doesn't automatically approve you, make sure you agree to follow the rules, because if you don't agree to follow the rules, the Facebook whatever won't approve you, and then I will message you and say you need to agree to the rules first.
Yes. So I'm an early learning educator, and I am not set up in any home childcare. Is the topic relevant for me when I'm working at a childcare center? I would say this is more specifically for family childcare environments, but certainly as we went through the topics, I mean, those are relevant topics that you would be doing within a center-based environment as well. I mean, certainly information about health and wellness, child development, guiding behavior, diversity, relationships, professionalism, those are things you touch upon within a childcare center as well. But this course is really specifically designed for family childcare providers. Not sure if this was discussed. Where will we be answering the questions to get the certificate?
So
So
the certificate, oh, sorry, Robin, go ahead.
I think they're, oh, that's okay. I think they're talking about the webinar, I think. So that would, the webinar, when you do the webinar separately, the ones that are curated and offered within the course, you'll see that they're offered as individual modules at the end of the course. And then you take those each on their own. And once you've completed the quiz, you'll get that 1 hour certificate. So you'll get it upon completion of your quiz when you do that. Is that, that's the right answer, right? Suzanne, do you have anything to add to that, or is that?
No, and it will be the same as doing the course, right? Like when you complete the questions in the course and complete all the modules, then there's a button that you can download and print your certificate. And each of the webinars will be somewhat like a course on their own.
Right. And you don't have to be a member of the Canadian Child Care Federation to take the course. That's why there's a member fee and a non-member fee. So if you're not a member of the Federation, you can take the course for $250, and if you're a member, it's $200. And course content. So can the course content be used to train others, or is it licensed and only CCCF can provide the training? Yes, when I mentioned previously that we could work with agencies and larger organizations to use it as training materials for their training purposes, we would be doing that through a licensing agreement. So the materials are owned and copywritten by the Canadian Child Care Federation. So if there is an opportunity to use it within a larger group setting, or something of that sort, then they would have to negotiate that with the Federation, and we would come up with a licensing agreement for that. All right. Just of course, a lot of things asking about the PD funding. So again, that's something that has to be discussed within each province and territory, and we are working on that. And certainly, when we do have information on that, we'll be happy to share that. Okay, I took the 40-hour course back in 2006 in order to work in daycare, which I worked in for more than 10 years. I now have my own licensed home childcare for the past 10 years. Due to financial situations, I haven't been able to. So can I take the course? For sure. And I think the course, if you took the previous course, or if you have some other knowledge or experience of the previous course, this would be familiar to you, but it won't be the same, because certainly we've added lots of new content, lots of new information. We've updated everything, but it's modeled and it's using the same kind of the language and the familiarity that people who provide family childcare really enjoy, and we kept it like that in the same style. So I think people really, at least in our feedback from the pilot, people really appreciated that.
So we've got a comment here. I've been around so long that I was
Yes,
there for the original Lee Dunster work. Well, that's awesome.
me too. Wasn't she
Great to
amazing?
have you here.
Yes, I love that. And she was an amazing, amazing person. Yeah, she did so much for family childcare in this country, and it was amazing working with her. I learned a lot from her. So the course is so again, Suzanne, correct me if I'm wrong, it's 30 hours on the certificate, correct?
Yep.
Yes, and so what we're suggesting, and we mentioned this earlier, and this gets a bit confusing, I can appreciate it, but it probably would take you an hour and a half, perhaps, to complete a module, but we're allowing the 30 hours for completion of the entire course to allow for that opportunity to have interaction on our virtual community of practice on the Facebook group, and to have time for your self-reflection, to write your notes, to reach out with others, that kind of thing. So that's why it has that many hours attached to it. Now, before I forget, I wanted to mention this. So Suzanne, do you want to mention our affiliate
Yes,
spotlight?
absolutely. So we're going to talk about the Alberta Family Child Care Association, and they are an affiliation of contracted licensed family day home agencies in the province of Alberta. The association was incorporated in January 1989 and has been engaged in promoting the health and well-being of children and families ever since. They promote and advance quality childcare for all contracted licensed family day home programs in Alberta through education, collaboration, and support. Alberta Family Childcare Association is recognized as an innovative leader and source of expertise in the childcare profession. Through a strong membership, they advocate for excellence in childcare. And they wanted me to let you know that their annual conference for consultants and directors is on October 17th in Calgary. And they also wanted me to let you know that they had a conference for family childcare educators in April, and that was attended by 350 people, and another 150 people attended virtually. So that's great that they were able to get so many people, so many family childcare providers together in one place.
That is amazing. And sorry about that slide, Fandango. I don't know what happened at my end. My finger got a little crazy. Okay, so and that's only one of our affiliates at the Federation. So the Canadian Child Care Federation is a national not-for-profit charitable organization, which many of you probably belong to through your provincial and territorial organizations. So the provincial and territorial organizations from across Canada, most of them, the majority of them, belong to the Canadian Child Care Federation, and we call them affiliate orgs. So this is one of the affiliate orgs, and they happen to be a family child care association, so we wanted to spotlight them, and this is another one right here.
Yeah, so this one is the Home Child Care Association of Ontario. And the Home Child Care Association of Ontario represents more than 75 licensed home child care agencies, which provide licensed home-based early learning and child care. Currently, they have over 5,000 children in care across 3,000 homes across Ontario. The agencies are licensed under the Ministry of Education and work in partnership with their local municipalities who provide funding. Home childcare providers are independent contractors working with licensed agencies. Both full fee and subsidized spaces are available. The HCCAO membership is committed to the well-being of children and has a strong interest in contributing to the dialogue about how childcare programs for children are organized, delivered, and regulated throughout the province. They have a conference coming up in October.
Thank you. And there we go. So as I mentioned, those two organizations are affiliates of the Canadian Child Care Federation. As well, your organization may be too. And we did answer a question earlier on that someone had about the Manitoba Child Care Association. Yes, they're an affiliate of the Canadian Child Care Federation. So if you belong to the MCCA, you belong to us. So that's how that works. And you'll find the same thing across the country. So some of our member perks include access to members-only content, to member discounts on our present and future courses, access to our EC magazine. So that was Interaction that we used to print out and send across the country, and now we do a digital version. That would be our Interact newsletter, and access to our 10,000 plus Facebook group. You can also rewatch webinars on our YouTube channel anywhere, anytime. Now, those ones that are available on the YouTube channel don't have those quizzes attached to them. That's a special thing that we're putting within the Family Child Care course to offer you that opportunity for additional PD hours like we talked about. And you can also enjoy networking with other childcare professionals and get event discounts and that type of thing. So there we go. So that would be the end of it. So what I wanted to tell you here was the course registration opens May 1st, and that is the website, the course website right there. And the details will be posted on CCF social media and sent via e-blast. And then for more information, you can email us at fcc@cccf-FCSGE.ca. But all this information will be put in a follow-up email that you'll be getting by Thursday evening, the same way you got information about how to log on for this webinar. So you'll be receiving all this information plus a link to the replay in case you want to share this with colleagues, or if you want to watch it again, because I know I talk very quickly. Sorry, that's one of my issues. So you can rewatch it, or you can take notes, or do whatever you wish, and we'll send you that link. And we're also sending that link to people who are unable to attend, which we usually don't do with a webinar, but because this one's informational in nature, we want to make sure all the information got out to as many people as possible. So I'm just going to glance through the questions one more time quickly. Is there a deadline to finish? Yeah, so you'll have access to that course for a year, for a calendar year. Yes, so someone's asking, I have a staff person with limited English with a lot of childcare experience. Can she take the course? Yes, and certainly we are looking into ways we can really better support people that have English as a second language. As I mentioned, we have a lot of course materials that are offered in different languages. So certainly that could be something. If you wanted to email me with some specific questions, we could answer them and go from there. Yes, so the course basically we're talking about here is a national family childcare training course. So it would apply in every province and territory. It is that base level family childcare training that you would need to feel comfortable continuing your family childcare practice in your home or to open up a family childcare. So it is that baseline training, which within your communities you can add on to that and get maybe specific training with infants and toddlers, or maybe some specific training in outdoor play, which we offer as well in other courses. But certainly this is that foundational training that we're trying to provide for family childcare providers for across Canada. So it is a member of any provincial association, is also a member. Most of them, you'll have to check with the organization, but the majority of provincial and territorial childcare organizations in Canada do belong to the Canadian Child Care Federation, with the exception of just a few. So you'll have to just look up that detail, but the majority of the organizations do belong to our federated model. Well, thank you for joining us tonight, Supiosa, and thank you very much. And thank you, Suzanne, for joining me and being able to provide this information to everybody.
Well, my pleasure, Robin.
And again, I know that was probably a lot of information all at once, but we will be following up with a really detailed email. And certainly feel free to reach out to us anytime with questions or concerns or comments that you might have, and we'll be happy to answer those for you. So be looking for that follow-up email coming by the end of this week. As well, be looking for that May 1st opportunity to register for the course. And if you want to have any kind of conversations about that group, a group joining the course, please let me know. Or if you have English as second language issues or things you want to discuss with me, I'd be happy to discuss those too. And like we said, we are continuing those conversations with provincial regulatory bodies. So hopefully we'll have news for you in your province sometime soon. So thank
And
you
I'm
for
looking
joining us
forward
this evening.
to seeing everyone join the Family Child Care Provider group on Facebook too. And we will get that link out to you. So if you're there and if you're, you know, just joining, feel free to introduce yourself right away. It's a friendly group.
Oh, for sure. For sure it is. And those we'll have links in our follow with email with all those other free resources that we've developed for family childcare that are presently on our website. And you can access any of those anytime, whenever you want. And also we have a Pinterest page. We forgot to mention the Pinterest page, Suzanne.
That's true, Robin. That's something else that we can send the link in the follow-up email. And often in the group, I will, oh, and the newsletter, Robin.
I was wondering if you mentioned the newsletter.
So
Yes.
we will also send you in the follow-up email information on how you can sign up for our newsletter. It's free. It comes out on the 1st of every month, and we'll share new ideas, and we have a feature called the Provider Perspective, and that is the thoughts of different providers in each newsletter. So yeah, and maybe you have an idea and you would like to be included in the Provider Perspective feature, and that's something you can contact either Robin or I about and share your ideas with us.
Yes, for sure. And that newsletter is specific family childcare. So we also have a newsletter that goes to the larger organization, the Canadian Child Care Federation, but this one is specifically for family childcare. We're really excited about that. So you guys have your own newsletter, and it's open, like Suzanne said, to be adding content to and your ideas. And we want to make it so it's most valuable to you and what you want to see in there. So certainly we're open to new ideas and contributions from you guys as well. And someone asked if they can email. You can email me directly with any questions for sure. I will have email addresses within the follow-up email, but also you can reach us at the FCC email address down below. That email address actually comes to me, so that's fine too. It might be easier to remember than R. McMillan, but either or is fine. They both come to
And
me.
make sure you sign up to our emails, because we have next month coming up, not one, not two, but I think 3. Is that right, Robin? We have 3 webinars next month.
Three free webinars.
3 free webinars. And one of the webinars is with Tina Gears. So we're super excited for that. And
Yes.
I can't remember the other ones because
It's about gender and gender diversity.
gender and gender diversity. And the other one is
Sun safety.
yes, sun safety. So we've got a lot of good stuff coming up in May.
Yes, we do. And that gender and gender diversity in ECE course will be webinar will be really informative, because we're launching another course in June. And it is the course of gender and gender diversity in ECE. And the person who developed that course is joining us for the webinar. And then we will also have we're relaunching and opening the registration again for online outdoor play course in July. So we have lots of really exciting things happening at the Federation, and we'll include information about that within the emails. And I think that's all. Are we forgetting anything, Suzanne?
No, if we have, we'll have to talk to them in the group. So
Yes, we bombarded you with so much information, but we're really happy you could join us, and I appreciate you taking time out of your evening to learn more about our new initiatives. And certainly we really hope that you'll join and take the course, because it's really a really informative piece, and we think it'll really improve your practice and help family childcare across the country. So thanks so much for joining us, and we will say good night, and hopefully we'll be seeing you again soon, whether it be in the Facebook group or in the course or in some other way, or joining us for a webinar. So long.
good night.